tried Kentucky Fried Chicken, so I don't know what it tastes like. I'll never crave it. And I'll probably never try it because I'm afraid I'll like it, so.
I eat for function, not for taste. The food is everything.
Yeah.
The food, I was eating 6-7 times a day. I was eating upwards to 4 pounds of meat a day pretty consistently. And, it was just every 2 hours like clockwork. What the books tell you. The magazines told me you have to eat to grow. And I think that's really what drove me. I wanted to be successful.
Yeah.
And I wanted to succeed, like build the ultimate physique. I mean, and you heard Arnold talk about in pumping iron, like the pump and everything. So of course, you try to get as much expansion of the muscle as you can, but then you realize you have to feed it in order to, get those fibers to repair and of course get the volume of the muscles.
I read.
You need to supply yourself with the fuel. So the meals are so important. If you're not getting the meals portionally in there, then you're wasting your time going to the gym. It's like trying to run like a Ferrari with crap gasoline. You can't do it.
It definitely, I spent a lot of time in the toilet. Let's put it that way, man, I was probably spending maybe $50,000 a year on food.
Gosh.
Yeah, 50 grand.
Back then, too.
Yeah.
That was 95?
Yeah, because, I would eat out sometimes, too, but, and I would travel. And
Sure.
So you said you were buying a whole cow at a time?
I'd actually buy all the meat, and I would have 2 freezers. So what I would do is I'd buy, the chicken, and I would break it all down into like 2-pound bags, and I would freeze it. And then I would have the cow where I would take, the cow would be hanging in like the butcher place. And I would say, I want this as steaks, this is hamburger. And I would do the same thing. I'd put it in like 2-pound. And then each day I would take out like some chicken and some steak. That's pretty much all I ate, besides eggs. So when I had the eggs, I went to a local farm stand and I bought 30 dozen eggs at a time.
Because you do 20 at a
Yolk out, throwing it.
Yeah.
And then having the egg whites. So it was a lot of work. There was some diets, I'm not going to lie, I ate 140 egg whites a day. So I was cracking eggs nonstop. I remember.
And when you look back on those years, would you consider yourself happy?
No.
What would you say you were?
No, I wasn't truly happy. I was happy at moments, but it was just routine. It was just eat, sleep, train, and repeat, and 80 grams of protein.
Right now, my meals basically consist of eating basically almost every hour, hour and a half. And what I do is basically get up in the morning. I usually walk the dogs. Some days, at least 3-4 days a week, I'm doing cardio. I do a half hour before I eat, even now in the off season, just for cardiovascular condition. And meal one is basically 12 eggs, 2 whole eggs, a bagel dry, 1 cup of oatmeal with a tablespoon of honey, 1 banana, and 4 rice cakes basically, and then a cup of coffee and about 2 or 3 glasses of Crystal Light. And then usually I'll shower, answer a couple emails, head to the gym about an hour after that for my first training session, train for about an hour, hour and a half, come home. I usually have a serving of protein powder, which mixed with usually 16 ounces of Gatorade. I usually have 2 packets of sugar oatmeal with 2 tablespoons of honey, usually 5 rice cakes with that, a fat-free muffin, bran muffin, and maybe I'll have some sort of fruit like raisins or banana. I get up, I have about 6 ounces of pasta with about 6 ounces of red meat, usually like 5 ounces of chicken breast, usually 2 cups of rice with some vegetables, and then I head back to the gym, usually after that, about an hour after that, come home and I have the same meal as I had for meal 2 with the powder and Gatorade and such, oatmeal. And then an hour after that, I have another pasta meal, which I have about 5 ounces of pasta and I have about 5 ounces of red meat. And then the meal after that, I usually eat out with my wife. At least once a day, we usually go for some sushi. So I have about 2 or 3 rolls of sushi, different various sushi, just usually some sort of tuna or yellowtail, then some sort of vegetable roll. some sort of oatmeal, egg whites. I usually have egg whites closer to bedtime with oatmeal, something more fibrous, or some vegetables. And then, of course, a protein shake before I go to bed. I usually get up a couple times a night, and I have usually a serving of some sort of protein powder, usually like a whey protein, or added with some oatmeal, something like that. I usually have some oatmeal made, which I keep by my sink in my bedroom, and then just wolf that down quickly and go right back to sleep. And usually I don't have a problem sleeping because I'm known to sleep quite a bit. So that's really about it right now for the meal plan. I just shoot for, like I said, I don't count calories. Right now I'm shooting for 1,000 carbs a day, and then I eat 300 to 400 grams of protein, and I'm just trying to shoot for basically 20% of my calories now are coming from fats. Supplements I use or recommend to use is basically first a quality protein powder or meal replacement. Glutamine is very, very beneficial for recovery and also boosting the immune system, which gets pretty run down with the training. Multivitamin, mineral, something on that idea. I use like a multi-pack, which is great, has all the different vitamins in it. But the other things that I use, like, is vitamin B, I use a vitamin C, I use garlic, cranberry for my kidneys, use milk thistle for my liver, I use folic acid, I use some sort of fish oil, evening primrose oil I like to use. People to follow the same guidelines as I always used, okay? Which is basically shoot for at least 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So for myself, for my protein, I try to eat at least 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, and for carbohydrates, if you're trying to gain mass, I'd say at least 2 grams of carbs per pound of lean body mass. But I would honestly suggest 2.5 to 3. What I shoot for is basically, boneless, skinless chicken breast, some egg whites, and of course the protein powders. I think it's important to eat a variety of food. Now, carbohydrate sources, I would suggest, when I diet for the shows, my carbohydrates consist of rice cakes, plain rice cakes, white rice, a lot of vegetables, and oatmeal. That's all I usually eat.
The 3 most important meals, guys, the 3 most. First meal of the day is your breakfast, okay? That is going to be your highest calorie dense meal. You have to get up and eat breakfast. If you're not eating breakfast watching this video, you got problems. So prior to training, which you should eat 1 hour prior, okay? What's the best meal to eat prior to training?
And what I like to do is, my favorite pre-workout meal would be an hour before. I'll have probably 8 ounces of chicken breast, plain, grilled, and probably 1.5 cups of white rice.
And then post-workout,
Like I mentioned, the amino pump or branched chain aminos while I train. Finish off the workout with a protein shake, which contains about 40 to 50 grams of protein, usually around 2 scoops of total protein. And then I'll follow up probably 15 minutes after the protein, with a carbohydrate source such as Gatorade or some sort of simple sugars, really to restore glycogen in the muscle. And then within 1 hour after training, I make sure I get 1 solid meal. And it would probably be a repeat of what I ate prior, which would be chicken and rice, or I might have some fish, sweet potato, or